Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our regular Zoom call for Wealth Warriors. It's Sunday evening, 10 p.m. UK time, 10th of May 2026. My name's Andy Galloway, and we're going to be focusing this evening on a single platform, but we will do a little bit of chatter as we do about Wealth Warriors and how this program fits into the overall aims and ambitions of Wealth Warriors. Okay, so it's not just a standalone thing. It's not a standalone platform, but of course it should produce a suitable video for you to give out to people, to give them a little bit of a hint about Wealth Warriors and what we're about, but also a little bit more information about this one particular platform. So the reason I want to do this presentation about this platform is we introduced it a couple of weeks ago, and maybe I didn't introduce it properly. It didn't hit with a big bang. There wasn't lots of fireworks and shouting from the rooftops and excitement about how good it is. So I feel I missed that opportunity, but I do want to put it out there that this is a great platform and it is definitely part of Wealth Warriors. It's something we're going to be adopting. We're going to be building on as time, over time. It's going to be an important part of our portfolio. So with that, I call on all Wealth Warriors all over the world, wherever you are. Most of you will be watching this by video. To look seriously at what we're talking about with this platform, with a view to getting involved. And of course, if you understand Wealth Warriors at all, then you know that first you get involved in the platform, then you get it working, and then you evaluate for yourself whether it's something you can promote. And if you can't promote that one, then you'll be promoting one of the other platforms to your friends, neighbors, relatives, work colleagues, and so on. Okay, so I like this platform. It's easy to talk about. It's easy to understand. It's easy to set up and run. Takes very little time and has great rewards. So with that, I'm going to switch over to my standard presentation, sorry, no, I won't. I'm going to switch over to NodeBooster presentation, and but I do want to bear in mind there's a disclaimer coming when I start my presentation. So that disclaimer applies to everything I talk about on this PDF presentation. So there we go. This is the company's own presentation. I'm going to go through this. And basically NodeBooster is in mining. Okay, it's in crypto mining. Now, some of you know that we've had several attempts to get involved in crypto mining, alongside a couple of attempts to get involved in crypto arbitrage. When I did an in-depth in crypto arbitrage, I'm of the opinion that I don't want to say it's a dead duck, but it's going to be very difficult for a platform in crypto arbitrage to scale up and to last a long time. I could be wrong. If I am, I apologize. Don't let me put off doing something on your own. But Wealth Warriors won't be getting involved in crypto arbitrage, which is a shame, because it's one of the first things I learned about in this marketplace, in the online space of finances and trading and so on. It's one of the first courses I did. I went away and did a 3-day course to learn how to do it properly, and I loved it. But in my opinion, it doesn't scale very easily at all. The more you scale it, the less your returns are. So we're looking for things that we can scale, and NodeBooster certainly fits that criteria. So let's have a look. It's an AI-powered node mining engine, and it's on the Avalanche network. Avalanche is a good, solid, reliable, fast blockchain. It's been around since, I think, 2018. Okay, and there's a catchphrase there, or a byline, a tagline: boost your node, multiply your power. And that's kind of what this does. It doesn't do, there are certain things it does that I'm not absolutely certain they had to do it that way. I'd much rather they did it in a different way, that we made more profit. They gave us more power and that sort of thing. But it is what it is. I haven't got any influence over that. But as it builds, as it grows, you'll see that it's actually pretty good, pretty powerful, and can make us all a lot of money. So here we go into NodeBooster. They have a disclaimer. There's a risk statement. So it involves cryptocurrency and blockchain-based rewards which carry inherent market, technical and smart contract risks. So they're trying to cover all the bases there. Returns are based on protocol activity and are not guaranteed. Please invest responsibly and only use funds you can afford to risk. And I'd echo that. Please, please, please do not get all excited about this and think I'm going to put all my investment capital into one platform. That's not the way to do this. That's not the way Wealth Warriors does it. No, but NodeBooster wouldn't mind if you did that. Wealth Warriors would discourage you from that because, well, I'll go through that in a bit. So now there's a smart contract disclaimer as well. It's fully decentralized. It's non-custodial. And all transactions, deposits, and rewards are executed directly on the Avalanche blockchain through smart contracts. Smart contracts are good. We like smart contracts, particularly this one. It's been audited, and there are a couple of things that came out of the audit that need to be improved, but it's nothing to do with what we're talking about in terms of putting money in, getting money out. The improvements come in the area of burning the tokens when they buy them back off us. There's only a little glitch. I'm sure they'll get that sorted at some point fairly soon. So it does, the improvements that came out of the audit are not going to affect us one little bit. Excuse me. So all the transactions, deposits, and rewards are executed directly on the Avalanche blockchain. Of what I've seen of the way it works, it's seamless. You don't have to keep an eye on it. You don't have to worry about anything. When you earn money, it goes straight into your associated wallet. The NodeBooster team never holds user funds or has the ability to alter or recover transactions. So that tells us there is a NodeBooster team. There are some people playing with some things, but they don't interfere with our contract once the contracts are set up and running. By participating, users agree to follow the platform's on-chain terms and conditions, acknowledge the use of blockchain technology, and accept that all operations are governed by immutable smart contracts. Participation implies understanding of decentralized finance principles. So decentralized finance principles just means that there is nobody in charge or nobody able to take that information, that contract, that money, whatever it is, and do anything with it. It's completely decentralized across a number of nodes or master nodes or servers. Traditional crypto mining is expensive. That's absolutely true. It's hardware heavy and is energy draining. And I've been looking at another crypto mining operation, which is pretty phenomenal. So I got involved in something a number of years ago, and we were looking at 70, 80, 90 terahash per second just to make a few dollars a day, because it was basically in Bitcoin. So it was, it was kind of difficult. It was also scaled up fairly well, so there was the marketplace was getting smaller and smaller as the number of participants got involved. So it was very hardware heavy, it was very energy draining, and it was expensive. But with something like what we're mining is AVAX 0, and that's relatively easy to do, and therefore you don't need a huge amount of power to do it. So most people are locked out of ordinary traditional crypto mining by high entry costs, complex setups, and unpredictable returns. Now, if you're not going to get involved in some sort of social sharing of the costs, such as we are with NodeBooster, then you need to have your own mining machines, and they can run to. You can spend whatever you like on a mining machine. I think you'll get a pretty reasonable one for $10,000, $12,000, something like that. But you can spend $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 on a really souped up machine and hope that that extra advantage earns you money faster than the cheaper machine. But then you've got more power, sorry, more electricity to pay for. You need to beef up your security because somebody just stealing your machine would be, that would be a security risk. Forget all the infrastructure, just somebody stealing your machine would be a problem for you. So, you have to beef up your security and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of hassle around doing the mining yourself with your own machines. Meanwhile, the Avalanche AVAX, which is the native coin of the Avalanche network, is one of the fastest and most scalable blockchains, and it continues to grow rapidly. There's a reason why. There's a number of very, very large companies. Some of the largest companies in the world are interested in developing their next projects on the Avalanche network, and they want to use the AVAX 0 coin as their utility coin. Okay. It's scalable, continues to grow rapidly. Validator nodes are dominated by institutions, leaving everyday investors a long way behind. So what can we do about that? So I'm not sure I've got the whole thing showing here, have I? Let me just make a small adjustment. I had set this up earlier. There we go. Yes, I have. Okay, so NodeBooster. This is so the Avalanche network is investors or the small investors are being left behind. So the solution is NodeBooster. A NodeBooster is a system that turns node validation into a simple, automated, and profitable experience. So everyone can use the AI validation engine. You don't need specialized equipment. You just need to go to a particular website, a platform, if you like, and connect up, put some money in, and it's up and running for you. There's daily fixed rewards. You can choose how much rewards you want, and based on that rewards, then that determines how much you put in to the operation. But it can start for as little as $19. Now you won't earn a lot of money for $19, but you will earn you'll get your money back about 4 times over, maybe nearly 5 times over during the price of the or during the period that you're running that engine. Okay, so they're daily fixed rewards. In fact, you'll receive 4.5 times your money back. So you put $19 in and you get 4.5 times that out over about 14 months. Fully on-chain transparency. So every reward cycle is verifiable and immutable on the Avalanche blockchain. Up to 90 days break even. So the smaller engines, so I said put in $19. The break even point on that is 90 days. As you get larger and larger and larger, then the return on investment period comes down to 77 days. So between 90 down to 77 days. And you don't need any hardware or rigs or GPUs. You just connect your wallet through your browser on your phone or on your computer or your tablet, and you're up and running. So this is the way that decentralized validation is going in the future. They say that. I agree with them. Of course, bear in mind we could all be wrong, but I think this is valid. I've seen the results of the audit. I've seen the CertiK rating and so on. I've checked into the setup of this, and I'm pretty excited about the way it's going. So this is the ecosystem. There's the AI mining agent that drives the whole thing. Then there's the Avalanche nodes, and then there are engine tokens. And between all of that, then you can put some money in. You get the agent driving things for you through the AI nodes, and the engine makes an output for you. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. So this is the tokenomics that tells you how many AVAX 0 there are, and where it all lives. And most of it is locked away. It's not being used at the moment. And so the token's only issued from the engine mining pool. Now, I don't know if you'll get this as clearly as I did after looking at this 2 or 3 times, but you put money in AVAX, which is the native coin of Avalanche network, and you earn money from the engines in AVAX 0. So don't get confused between what you're paying and what you're receiving. Okay, there's also a small registration cost. So that's 25 USDC. So you pay that in USDC. So that's 3 different tokens, 3 different coins, if you like, in play, most of which is AVAX 0. So when you put some money in AVAX, for example, you put you put 2 AVAX in, then you're going to receive a maximum payout of 9 AVAX 0. Now, at the moment, the AVAX 0 is worth 163, but when I first started getting paid in AVAX 0, it was 14 cents. The prediction is that by the end of this year, AVAX 0 is going to be $30. Whether it is or it isn't, I don't know. But the utility that's coming down the pipeline to drive the price of AVAX 0 up, there's a lot of pressure there. A lot of crypto coins have risen a very long way based on a lot less utility. So we'll talk about that if we get a chance. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But if you were to do a little bit of research into which companies are thinking of producing projects paying out in AVAX Zero, you'll be amazed some of the biggest names on the planet are doing that. That's partly why I'm confident that, AVAX Zero, the price of AVAX Zero is going to be going up. I'm not a great one for, let's get out here and buy some coins and wait for them to go up. A lot of people do that. It's called hodling. I'm not a great believer in that, simply because what I'm looking for in this online space are businesses. I want us to get into something, do some things that generate some income and take our money. Okay, so the reason we want to get involved in NodeBooster is it is a business. You put some money in, it generates something, and you make some money. And AVAX Zero, the fact that AVAX Zero is going to go up in price very, very dramatically is like a cherry on the top. A lot of people who do this just because they believe AVAX Zero is going to go up in price. So you've got a number of choices. One is just go and buy some AVAX Zero, which you can do. The other is get involved in this and have the AVAX Zero mined for you. Now, what you've got to figure out is, for the money you're putting in, are you going to make more AVAX Zero through this system than just going to an exchange and buying it? Well, the answer, of course, is yes. So whatever money you put in AVAX, you'll receive 4.5 times that in AVAX Zero as a reward. So these are the NodeBooster is not tokenized really. It's just separated out into different engines, and the engines are generating AVAX Zero. They're not generating, they're mining AVAX Zero through the normal mining process. If you understand cryptocurrency, people do certain things on the blockchain that needs to be validated, and to reward the computers that do that validation, somebody using the blockchain has to pay a little bit of fees, and so that's what we earn for that's called mining AVAX Zero. So those fees are generated from the validation operation. Now, when you first put your money in, it goes through 3 phases. There are 3 earning phases. The first one is from when you activate it up to day 30. There's some fancy words there that try to convince you, that it's all technical. It may well be, but we don't care about that. What we're saying is that in phase 1, you start to earn some money. It's not a massive amount. You don't see a big flow of money, but you do start earning some. And you don't really mind too much, because it's going to keep going. That earning flow is going to continue until you receive 4.5 times what you put in. Okay, so the fact that it's a little bit slower to get started, I don't know why they do that, but they do, and so we just accept that. From day 31 to day 90, it accelerates. It increases. You earn more per day. And from day 91, phase 3, you then receive your maximum hash power and your maximum referral depth. We'll talk about referral depth in a minute. And that so that's sort of like full flood. They open all the floodgates, and you earn at a maximum level, and that continues up until you've earned 4.5x what you put in. So there are the 10 different engines. They all earn different power levels. Engine 1, or the starter engine, is 1%, and engine 10 is 18%. Now, just this will come out in the rest of the presentation, but in order to get engine 10, the ultimate engine, activated, you first need to activate the starter engine, and then when you've done that, you activate the basic engine, then you activate the standard engine, and so on. So by the time you get to the ultimate engine, you've actually got one engine earning at 1%, one at 2%, one at 4%, one at 6%, and so on. So that's a significant amount of income you're receiving by the time you get up to the ultimate engine, and we'll look at what that's like in a little while. You also receive referral income from further down in your network. So in the mining period, 90 days is break even, and then as an absolute minimum, so each engine will expire after it's achieved that 4.5. The maximum is 405 days. I think engine 1 takes about 401 days, and engine 10 takes a little bit less than that, 380, something like that. We'll look at that in a minute. Okay, and they all earn independent of each other. So you have 10 different engines on the go by the time you get to the ultimate engine. So it's built on progressive unlocking. I said that just now, that you start the first one, then you activate the second one, then you activate the third one, and so on. And you get more and more mining efficiency. Again, that's the percentage levels going up. You get more and more efficiency. And you have to start at the starter engine all the way up to the ultimate engine, and they all operate with, for that period of time, and that reward cap. The rewards do compound, so that's why you earn more towards the end of the engine than you do earlier on. So when you and we're talking here about a unilevel compensation plan. So you introduce somebody, and for those people that you introduce, when they activate an engine, you receive 10% of, not from them, you receive 10% of whatever engine they've activated. You get that in AVAX. Sorry, this is talking about the USDC referral. So when somebody pays their $25 USDC, or 25 USDC, I should say, you receive 10% of that for the people that you've introduced. And for the people below them, you get a smaller percentage. The people below them, you get a smaller percentage, and so on. So the whole of that $25, 25 USDC that they've used to activate, or sorry, to register their account, all of that $25 is spread out between you and the 9 people above you. Okay, so it's true multi-level marketing in that sense. The company doesn't take any of that money. That's a registration fee. And it's a compensation to you for building a team. Now, you haven't got to build a team. The engines work quite well on your own. You don't need a team. But if you build a team, there are great rewards for that. Okay, as you build your team, you introduce more and more people. So you open up more and more levels below you to receive commissions based on the engines that get unlocked. Okay, so NodeBooster operates on a 11 level unilevel reward structure. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in a minute. I don't want to go into that side too much. Okay, so I think this is kind of as deep as we need to get. So when you activate engine 1, that means that you start receiving commissions from the people you've introduced on level 1. It's not a case of you have to introduce 25 people or 10 people on your front line or anything like that. Okay, you can access the people in your team simply by activating another engine. Now you can access the commissions in your team simply by activating another engine. So if you introduce one person and they introduce 1,000 people, you don't need to, you're not going to miss out on those commissions. Then you would just need to activate engine 1, then engine 2, and you've got access to all of that commission. And you can see there that on level 1, you receive 8%. On level 2, you receive an additional 4%. So you get 8% on level 1, 4% on level 2, 3% on level 3, and so on. And all you're doing is unlocking or activating engines to unlock those commission levels. I like that. I like that because so many people say, well, I can't access all these commissions that are happening in my group because I can't introduce 10 people on my front line. Well, now you don't have to. You can, of course. There's benefits to doing that. Okay, so that's kind of the full. That's as far as I want to go with that. I don't think we need any more details than that. So start your AVAX engine today and receive 1 AVAX 0 for free, which is something. You put in $25 and you receive back 1 AVAX 0. Now the AVAX 0 is worth $1.63. When I got my first AVAX AVAX 0, it was worth 14 cents. And I thought, so I put $25 in and I've got 14 cents back. Well, now that 14 cents or that one coin is worth $1.63. In a few weeks' time, it's going to be worth $2. It won't be long before that's actually worth more than I paid for it. So I put $25 in. Everybody above me received their commissions, and at some point, my one AVAX zero is going to be worth more than I put in. So I think that's pretty cool. So that's the end of this presentation. I'm going to go over to my presentation now. And I do apologize because this was actually this presentation was made completely independent. Oh, it's not the 22nd of April at all. It's the 10th of May. This was made completely independent of that PDF document. So if there's any duplication, I'll skip over it, for which I apologize. So my own disclaimer, nothing in this presentation is financial or investment advice. Wealth Warriors is not an investment platform. We are a community. We do promote platforms, and NodeBooster is one of the platforms we're promoting. And if you do decide to invest in any of the platforms, only use money you can comfortably afford to lose. Okay, I've written up the due diligence on NodeBooster. It's available in the Wealth Warriors Telegram group. So if you have any reservations, if you want to find out more, by all means, read it. It doesn't get a glowing write-up, but it is good enough for us to add as a platform. And I'm quietly excited that I think that this is going to produce a lot of money for a lot of people. One of the things I like about this is it doesn't take a huge amount of time to run. You know, lots of platforms. No doubt, at some point they'll make it more complicated. There'll be added things. There'll be promotions, and there'll be webinars, and there'll be summits in Miami, and all this other stuff and nonsense that people get all excited about. But at the moment, there's none of that. So it takes very, very little time for you to set this up, and even less time for you to run it. You don't need to go in there every day. I go in there every few days and then withdraw my money. The commissions go straight to my wallet, so I never have to do anything with that. But the AVAX zero I'm earning, I push a button every few days, and that goes to my wallet straight away. Doesn't need anybody to sign off and agree. No, it's my money, goes straight to my wallet. But it takes little time. That's the point I'm making. Okay, I'm not an employee or an agent of NodeBooster. So this is what, let me show you why or how we adopt platforms for Wealth Warriors, and you'll see now why NodeBooster is a suitable platform. It's available everywhere. It's available everywhere you've got electricity. It must have a unilevel compensation plan, which this does. People must be able to join for free. Well, you can join for free. Now, it costs to activate an engine, so you can't join for free. You can join for 25 USDC. So if you have somebody who says, well, listen, I haven't got a lot of money, but they're part of your team and you want to maintain lines of sponsorship, then you can say, let's get you in for 25 USDC. I'll even fund you the 25 USDC because now you're in. You can get a referral link. You can pass that on to your team. They can all get involved. You can promote it to people and so on. Pretty soon, you're going to have a business up and running. Okay, so that's the opposite of some of the platforms where you need to spend $10,000. I tell a story sometimes actually about before I started Wealth Warriors, or as I was starting it, I was invited to look at a really, really good platform. It was a private members club, and it was really, really good. They were producing great results. I think something like $5,000 a month. And it only cost you $27,500 to get involved. Okay, so clearly that wasn't suitable for Wealth Warriors because not everybody in the team would have $27,500, and therefore people wouldn't be able to get in, so their lines of sponsorship would be broken. And that's cardinal sin number one, breaking lines of sponsorship. There's a number of reasons why. Because combination of 1, 2, and 3 means we can maintain lines of sponsorship. That is the most important thing we can do. And it must be based on real world applications, not just a money game or a shell game. So as far as I can ascertain, this is based on real mining operations on the Avalanche network, producing something called AVAX zero. and the lines of sponsorship or the commissions get paid out automatically. That's been my experience, and from what I've seen and from the auditing that was done on the smart contract, okay, I just believe that this is a real world application. It's an online representation of the real world mining of AVAX Zero. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So if there's a company involved, which there is, then we need to verify the company's legal status. Well, it's all done with smart contracts, so that's not as important. I will be looking into that. I've done some research into that, but it's not definitive. But it doesn't need to be, because the smart contracts are, the smart contracts are in place and they have been audited. Not many people get their smart contracts audited. The compensation plan must be viable and sustainable. You saw the numbers just now. They're not giving us the whole world. They're giving us a reasonable proportion of the money that comes in. Now, we want them to make a lot of money because we want them to be around for a while. We want them to make it worth their while to continue to have good technology running, good quality people in the company and so on. So, but we also want to make our money as well. And based on that, I believe this is viable and sustainable, plus looking at what's happening on the AVAX Zero ecosystem. We must all be able to get behind the project. So this isn't gambling, it's not money lending, it's not anything untoward, unethical, immoral. It's mining of cryptocurrency. And we operate in the cryptocurrency space. So every single coin you use, every single coin you get given was mined at some point. So nobody can say mining doesn't work. You might say, I don't think mining is profitable. That's absolutely fine. That's a completely different conversation. But mining of cryptocurrencies absolutely works. There would be no crypto industry if it didn't. So look, we're building a solid foundation on which we can base our own financial futures. We work with companies, systems that are above board. We build a large asset, which in turn will deliver us a large income. And only platforms that meet our rigorous criteria are considered. I'm just wondering if yes, I have. Okay. I thought I might have, that slide was actually in the wrong place. I thought I might have missed some stuff. Okay, so this is what we do. This is how to set up NodeBooster. One, make sure you have access to one of the following apps. Now, there will be other apps in the future. I'm sure, I've not been told that, but I'm kind of suspecting they'll make that available. But you only need one. I really don't like MetaMask, but I do have a MetaMask wallet, so I've connected that. Seemed to work okay. You can set it up as a browser extension on your computer, which I do, or as an app on your mobile phone, which I also do. It's relatively easy to have both of those working on the same account, the same wallet, so you can track whatever's happening in NodeBooster. You can track it on your phone just as easily as you can on your computer. That's what I do. You could choose one or the other if you want to. You can also do both. So then you create a new account or a new wallet, depends which of those wallets you are using. Some of them talk about an account and some of them talk about a wallet. And there's confusion. The word wallet is used in about to mean 5 different things. So please don't get confused. What we're talking about here is whatever you're using that wallet for. Maybe you've got some wallets or that app for. If you have something in your wallet working on the Sol network and you have something else working on the Ethereum network, absolutely fine. Then you make a whole new account that's based on the Avalanche network. To that Avalanche network, then you add some tokens. And one of the tokens you're going to need is the USDC. Now, there is an Avalanche version of the USDC token, so make sure and use that one. Don't use any other version of USDC because it won't work properly. But at least then put 25 USDC on the Avalanche network into that wallet or that account. Then you also need to add AVAX token. Now, I don't know if you know, but when you're working with these wallets and these apps, you can just add a token. You don't actually have to put the money in there. You just you say, well, here's a little container so that when I get some AVAX, it's going to go in there. And that will give you a wallet address so that you can receive AVAX into that wallet. The same with the USDC. The same with anything else you set up. You'll find actually there's quite a lot of different cryptocurrencies that use the AVAX or the Avalanche network. So you can set all of them up on your wallet. You don't need them for this, but all you need is USDC and AVAX, and also AVAX Zero. But we'll talk about AVAX Zero in a minute. So these are the levels of involvement. You might say, I haven't got much money. I want to get started for a small amount of money. You might say, I'm serious about this. I can see how this is going to be a big earner for me. It's something I want to add to my portfolio and do for many, many years to come. I want to put a significant amount of money in to start with. So these are different levels of involvement. The starter engine costs 2 AVAX. Now, 1 AVAX is about $9.50 right now. So let's say it's $10. So 2 AVAX is $20. 4 AVAX is $40. So you activate your starter. If you want to activate the starter engine and the basic engine, you're going to need 6 AVAX in your wallet. Okay, if you want to activate the standard engine, then you need 8 plus 2 plus 4 is 14 AVAX. So that's about $140. The advanced engine comes in at about, where are we now? 12, 20. Is that $200? I'm losing track of the plot here. 20, 40, 40, 48. Okay, so that's about $480 for the professional engine. Okay, so you choose how far up the tree you want to go. I think the ultimate engine, by the time you get to the ultimate engine, you've got about $7,700 in there. That's at today's price. Now, bear in mind, if you get in at today's price at $9.50, and you get a few engines working for you, then the price of AVAX goes up, and eventually you want to add another couple of engines, then you have to worry about the price of AVAX at that time. So if you have aspirations to get to the top of the tree, I would say do it as quickly as you can. Don't slouch. But of course, one of the principles of Wealth Warriors is that we try to keep our portfolio balanced. So at the point you get into this, you should also be in 4 other platforms, and you should have the same, aim to put the same amount of money in here as you have in your other platforms. Also, if you've been paying attention, then you should have some profits in these other platforms that you can take some of that profit, put into here. It shouldn't be money coming out of your own wallet at this stage of the game. You should be making profit in some of these other platforms. And of course, we do want some more platforms that are making daily profit, which is another thing we like about NodeBooster. It makes you profit all day, every day, literally all day, every day. If we look at my back office in a little while, you'll see that. So you can see the power levels. You can also see the max cap for each engine. And then what I've done is I've added a column there for the accumulated return of all of those engines. So if you just get up to the professional engines, so you've got 5 engines on the go, it costs you 20, 40, 48, about say $500 to get up to the professional engine, and you'll receive 423 AVAX Zero at the end of it. So if AVAX Zero is worth, I don't know, $10, that's $4,230. We think AVAX Zero by Christmas, by the time these engines stop producing, they're going to be it's going to be $30. So 423 times 30, it certainly makes the whole thing worthwhile putting $500 in. Now, don't put $500 in if you haven't got it, and don't put $500 in if in your other portfolio, your other platforms, you've only got $10. Okay, need to be a little bit savvy about this. So then what do? Well, you talk to the person who introduced you to Wealth Warriors, and you say, can I have your NodeBooster referral link, please? And then you follow the referral link. And first time you go there, you will see this. Well, this is only part of the screen. You'll see a whole big screen. This will be right in the middle, and you connect your wallet. Now, if you're doing this through an app, that's easy enough, an app on your phone. If you're doing this through an extension on your computer, it's even easier. Just make sure that when you connect your wallet, when you do this step, you've been to your wallet in the extension and you've opened up the correct account. Okay, then follow the link and go to this site and then connect your wallet. If you do it in a different order, you'll be trying to connect a wallet that's not compatible, and it'll just cause you problems. You won't lose anything, we'll just waste a little bit of time. Then, so you connect your wallet, do all that. It says, yeah, you're now connected. Now you need to pay 25 USDC. So you've already got that in your wallet. And it's a one-time payment, very, very simple to do. The site works really well. And that's it. You've paid your registration fee. And as you do that, the second you've done that, the people that introduced you get their commission. The people that introduced them got their commission. It's instantaneous. Once your wallet's connected, you will end up on the dashboard. And this is quite a long way down on the dashboard, but you will see a panel that's about the available engines. There's 10 engines. I've only taken the first few. And you activate the starter engine, and then once that's done, so let's suppose you have put in 6 AVACs, you want to activate the first 2 engines, then you click on the upgrade button for the starter engine, the upgrade button for the basic engine. That's it, all done. And that's what your screen would look like afterwards. It shows that you have 2 engines on the go. Okay, so that's the upgrade button. Big arrow there, just in case you weren't aware that that was the upgrade button. And then you repeat for all the engines up to your chosen maximum engine. And I've covered that several times now, so I'm not going to say it again. Now, there is a tab on the site that's called Calculator, and you can go there to see what the payout of each engine will be in AVAC 0. And again, we will go and have a look at my back office in a minute. You see there's a little timer. No, it's not a timer, it's a counter that's counting up your AVAC 0 that's being mined by your engines. And every 24 hours, you can push a button and send that money off to your wallet. And I'll show you, I've already done that. And it takes, well, it took no time at all. By the time I moved my mouse across the screen and pushed the button, it was already there. Okay, because it's not done, sorry, I don't know if it's done through the blockchain. It may well be, but it was pretty quick. Avalanche is a fast blockchain anyway. So from your wallet, you can sell your AVAC 0, or you can transfer them to another wallet. Okay, or you can just keep hold of them if you want to. If you do decide to sell, now this is just something I'm going to be saying for the next few months. That is that at the moment, the price of AVAC 0 is below the price of AVAX. So if you put, for every 1 AVAX you put in, you're going to receive 4.5 AVAC 0. That will only be a smart thing to do if the price of AVAC 0 is about a quarter of the AVAX that you put in. Okay, so the AVAX is $9.50 roughly. So as long as 4.5 times AVAX 0 is equal to or greater than $9.50, then that's the smart thing to do. But if it's not at that point, as you receive your AVAX 0, they're just sat there. You might not cash them in yet. You might say, I'm going to cash them in when they get to $3. I'm going to cash them in when they get to $10. Personally, I'm keeping hold of mine until they get to $30. Then I'm going to think about it. And at the moment, I've actually got some AVAX 0, and they are going up very, very nicely in value. Some of you that got involved in the pre-launch sale will notice that as well. You can still get hold of AVAX 0. You can go and buy it. If your thing is to buy it and wait for it to go up in price. I don't do that personally. This is the first time I've done that. I didn't put a huge amount of money in, but at the moment I'm sat on a very nice little earner. Thank you very much. So that's still available through this platform. So you can hodl it and wait. I've covered that. So there's also the option to earn from team building, and commissions are paid in AVAX every time they activate a new engine. You also get a proportion of the USDC registration, but that's only a one-off thing, so I'm not massively excited about that. Even if you make several $100s from that, is not a repeat type income. So in a business sense, I'm not massively excited about that. But these commissions are sent directly to your wallet. So as soon as the AVAX is received, bang, it goes straight into your wallet. You don't have to worry. If something happens to the platform, you still have the money in your wallet. You don't have to request it or, please, sir, can I have my money? No, straight there. Now, if the earnings are good, as in, I guess what I mean by that is if the price of AVAX 0 is much greater than the price of AVAX, okay, now see how this is cleverly put together. They're all banking on the fact that AVAX 0 is going to go up in price. There will be a time when you'll be putting 2 AVAX in to receive 9 AVAX out, but in dollar terms, that's going to be $20 in and $200 out in a year's time. Who wouldn't do that? Everybody on the planet would do that. Okay, that's where the growth in this business is going to come from, and it's going to come from the growth of the AVAX 0 coin. And I say it's already gone up from 14 cents to $1.63 in, I don't know, 4 weeks, something like that. So where's it going to be in a year? Where's it going to be in 5 years? Where's it going to be in 10 years? Okay, so the price of AVAX 0 and the increase in that is what's going to drive your success in this platform. So who do you know? And this is a very serious question. Who do you know who would like to get involved in something now where they can put a few dollars in with the prospect of taking a lot of dollars out at the end? Because when you look at it in AVAX 0, sorry, AVAX generating AVAX 0, that's exciting, but it's only ever going to be 4.5 times. Most people don't think in AVAX and AVAX 0 and Bitcoin and Ethereum. You need to learn to do that if you're going to hang around in the crypto world for very long, because constantly referring everything back to the dollar will do your head in. And not everybody in the world can do that anyway, because the dollar is only available in the US of A. So we need to train our minds to think in terms of AVAX and AVAX 0. But even if you do that, even if you're good at that, it's not massively exciting. But then when you start converting it back to dollars, and I put $20 in and I get $1,000 out in a year's time, or 405 days time, that's exciting. Who do you know would like to do that? Okay, and if somebody's going to do that as they earn a little bit of income, then they're going to activate a few more engines. You imagine making $50,000 from a $500 start in a year. Pretty soon you're going to come back and activate all those engines. And if that's somebody in your team, you're going to receive all those commissions all over again. Every time they reactivate those engines or add new engines, you're going to receive more commissions. You're going to get rewarded over and over again for the work you did to help those people get started. And it won't come from them. It'll come from the blockchain, come from the mining pool. Okay, so well, I'm a little bit excited about this as well. It ticks so many boxes for things that I've been looking for platforms to add to Wealth Warriors. This is really quite exciting to see. So I've just said that you'll receive more commissions. So imagine AVAX reaches $30 and you've activated all 10 engines. You're going to pay, so it's not 7,700, it's 7,350. And that's at today's price. And then they're going to pay out over the next year. You're going to have accumulated 8,320.5 AVAX 0. That's an absolute, I was going to say guaranteed, but of course, nothing's guaranteed. The world might end before then. But if it all survives till then, it's not, the mining activity will definitely pay out 4.5 times. That's 777. That's the one figure we can rely on. So if AVAX 0 is $30, and there are a lot of people predicting it's going to outstrip Ethereum fairly soon. I don't want to get into that too much, but you can research and find out who's planning to use AVAX 0 to fund as the utility coin in their ecosystem, and you'll be quietly excited as well. There are some big names looking at that. So if it hits $30, or when it hits $30, you've turned that $7,350 into $250,000. Okay, so I think it's certainly, for me, that's certainly worth a punt, and I'm looking as quickly as I can to get that 777 AVAX under my belt because I like these prospects. So you get involved, deposit your funds, activate your engines, forget about it. Don't bother about it at all. Go off and do other things. This is what I love. It's going to make you wealth while you sleep. And this is what we want. We want 25 engines, sorry, 25 platforms, 30 platforms. If they were all as hands-free as this, we could handle many, many, many more platforms. What limits the number of platforms is how much activity we have to do just to keep that platform ticking over and doing what we want. If we have to constantly keep going into that platform to do something every day or every few days, it drains your time. I guess you could have hundreds of these platforms if this low involvement. So you set it up and forget it. When your engines expire, take some of your profit, buy some more AVAX and activate new engines. Introduce a few friends. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of hesitant to introduce friends, but if you understand Wealth Warriors, your friends will be as safe in this environment as they're ever going to be. There's no guarantee, obviously, but it's worth introducing some of your friends. Can you imagine you make $250,000 by just, what would that be this time next year? It would be by the summer holidays next year. When the kids break up from school next summer holidays, you could have $250,000 to spend from your $7,350 that you put in right now. Okay, you and some friends see you splurging out, buying a new car, fancy holidays, upgrading the house, whatever it is. And they say, wow, what happened to you? You say, well, about 14 months ago, I got involved in this thing. I can put this money in and get, a $250,000 out. I say, oh, thanks a bunch. Why didn't you tell me? Oh, well, I was scared. I thought you might not like it. I thought you might judge me. Okay, well, now they'll judge you. So the way to approach people is just to say, look, I've got something. I like it. It's something I'm going to do. I think you might like it. There's no guarantees, but come and have a look at this. Let me send you a video. You make up your own mind. For me, I like it. I'm going to be doing it. Okay, so that's how I talk to my friends. I don't tell people that it's something that, it's all safe, it's guaranteed, and all the rest of it. I say, I like it, and I'm doing it. And if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for my friends. If it's good enough for my family, it's good enough for my friends. There's nobody it's not good enough for, or I don't do it. You know that about me. I don't do it. If it's not good enough for me and my friends, I don't do it. I walk away. And this one, we're not walking away. I like it. So in conclusion, it's a good addition to Wealth Warriors. So get your referral link, register today, pass on your referral link to your team. It's low risk, low involvement, low time input, and exactly what we're looking for. You unlock commissions on levels 1 to 10. Sorry, that's incorrect. That's incorrect. I wrote that in error. You do that by activating engines 1 to 10. Level 1 pays 10%. So if you know somebody who says, well, I haven't got any money, say, okay, well, let's get you involved for 25 USDC. And you know somebody who's got quite routinely put $7,000 or $8,000 into a platform. So let's get them to activate all the engines up to the ultimate engine. You're going to get $735 by the time they've activated all those different engines. You would have received $735 for that. Okay. The beauty of that is that whatever the price of AVAX is, it doesn't matter. If it's cost them $735 to get it started, sorry, $7,350 to get it started, you're going to receive $735. If it costs them $8,000 to get it started, you're going to receive $800 and so on. So as the price of AVAX goes up, because they're paying in AVAX and you're getting paid in AVAX, it's a direct correlation. Okay, so if you know somebody who needs to make money, show them this. They know people who will do this in the next few weeks, months, years. And they don't have to make promises to anybody. All they need to do is to say, I like this, I'm doing it, I think you should look at it. Let me send you a video. So the commissions you get paid end up in your wallet, for example, your MetaMask wallet straight away, and you can take it to an exchange and convert it to dollars or convert it to something else you want to spend. Okay, immediately. It costs you, there's no delay. It's as fast as the blockchain can get it there. So finally, it's important to remain safe on the internet and in the world of online opportunities at all times. Do not share passwords or other credentials with anyone. It's a bit safer with NodeBooster because it's all to do with the wallet address, the address of the wallet that you connect to your NodeBooster. So just make sure nobody else can access your MetaMask or Trust Wallet or whatever else you're using. Make sure that's all secure, and all will be well. So where it's available, set up 2FA. I haven't seen 2FA on this platform, but I haven't looked for it. It may be there. But if it is there, or if they add it at a later stage, set up your 2FA. It's your only protection against other people doing stupid things. Back up all your passwords and your 2FA codes and make sure they're safe. Make sure somebody knows where they are and how to access all this stuff. So get back to the person who invited you on this call or referred to this video. They are ready and waiting to help you avoid scams, protect your permanent network, and create immense personal wealth. Now, NodeBooster is only one of the platforms we have available. So if you like NodeBooster, get into NodeBooster, and then we'll talk to you about, the person who introduced you will talk to you about getting involved in some of the other platforms. It's all voluntary, you don't have to. But if you understand the system we're building, then you will. And it might be you're not interested in NodeBooster, but you like the principle, you like the thing that we're talking about, the way to build a community, the way to build a system for your wealth. Then you say, well, look, I'm not interested in NodeBooster. Show me what else you've got. Let's have a look at what else you've got. Okay, so don't take it that all we do is NodeBooster. That's not the case. It's a great platform, but there's no one thing for everyone. And if it's not for you, if it needs to grow on you over time, whatever it is, then talk to the person who introduced you and say, show me what else you've got. I might be interested in that. I'm interested in the system. I'm interested in generating personal wealth, generational wealth, avoiding scams, avoid losing money. Okay, generating something for the future now while you've got time, because we're running out of time. You've only got about 3 years to get, sorry, 3.5 years to get this done. And after that, who knows, you may not have the opportunity to build wealth or generational wealth. So personal wealth or generational wealth. We don't know what's going to happen. We do know the shutters are coming down. A lot of things you've got access to right now, you will not have access to in 4 years or 5 years' time. So get it done now. Time is running out. Don't wait. Don't mess around. This is important. So I'm going to share my screen one last time. We're going to go over to my back office and we will have a look at it. So my back office is available. There we go. Just move a few things. You can't see them, but I can. So this is my back office. This is what you see when you log in. This is the dashboard. And then there's a calculator, token sale, masternode. Don't worry about the masternode. This actually takes you somewhere to platform that we investigated. Some of us got involved with. It's not part of Wealth Warriors, but some of us got involved anyway because it looked good at the time. It's a Matrix Booster, okay, but you get there through this button here, Masternode. If you want to buy some AVAX Zero, you can go here for the token sale. You can click on this link here for the token sale. You can add to MetaMask. There's several other buttons around the place. You can add, there we go, you can add to your MetaMask. This is all about going somewhere and buying some AVAX Zero. Okay, so if that's what you want to do, plenty of opportunities to do that. There's announcements about different things that are happening. AVAX Zero liquidity infrastructure, okay, it's undergone a successful recalibration. I'm so happy. So it's completely synchronized. Its alignment is achieved across DEX and upcoming CEX markets. So DEX is a great exchange, one of the world's largest exchanges. It lists AVAX Zero. If you're a holder, there's some information here about MetaMask and adding your token. You can add your token. Who thought you could do that? Okay. Yeah, I think this is out of date now. This is February 2025. Okay. So there's announcements that come up once in a while. There's some information here about the wallet you've got attached, and you can switch networks here, Avalanche, Fuji, or Avalanche. So Avalanche, so Fuji apparently have, not Fuji, There is a separate Avalanche network called Avalanche Fuji. Some people have access to that if they don't have access to Avalanche, so they can use that. So let's have a look at my page here, the dashboard. This is my referral link right at the very top. Okay, and all this is a link here to NodeBooster, and then that's my wallet. So it's easy to see how that gets people. If I give that to people, they join, they're connected to me through our wallets. This is my live earnings. So I've made 0.364 AVAX 0 since I last claimed my rewards. And to claim it, all you do is click this button here. Once you've claimed that, there's a timer starts for 24 hours before you can claim again. There's some information here about the smart contract audit. You can go there, you can read the results of the audit carried out by Entersoft, probably, in my opinion, the best smart contract auditing company in the world. There aren't many, I know, but they are good, they're thorough. Their results are comprehensive. So this just talks about my wallet and the fact it's activated. This is who my referrer is, a wallet. This is the team overview. And if you want to look at your team, you can look at the click on the network, and you can see how many people you've got on each different level. You can add AVAX to your wallet, and this is your AVAX income. This is AVAX income now, not AVAX 0, and this is received directly from smart contracts. Okay. You can have a look at the transaction history here. Here's the network statistics for the whole company, the whole team. So you can see there's still only 340 people involved, but they've taken out 13,000, or so they've earned 13,000 AVAX 0. So that means there are some pretty big players in there. Coming down to the engine control center, this will tell you the largest engine you've got activated, minus the standard engine. So I'm earning 4%, and my rewards cap is 4.5x, which will be for everybody. Little progress bar there, so you can see I've really only just started. It's going to go all the way up to 63 AVAX. Oh, sorry, AVAX 0. And you can browse the upgrades by clicking that button, or you can just scroll down to here, which takes you to the same place. So you can see I've got the starter engine activated, the basic engine activated, and the standard engine activated. So I've put in 14 AVAX so far. I'm going to be putting some more in. I'm just moving some money around. And to upgrade, you just click on the upgrade button. And if you have your wallet open or activate, so wallet connected, it will just go there, and your wallet will say, you've been asked to pay 12 AVAX. Do you want to do that? And you say confirm, and it's done. Very, very simple. And then your clock speeds up within a few seconds. Your clock suddenly speeds up. And then there's your rewards history. You can see that I claimed these AVAX 0, sent them to my wallet. I don't know what the engine cycle is. Don't know what the engine cycle is. There's also the online support here. So you can just ask them anything. It says, ask me anything. So it's ask me anything. So you must be able to ask them anything. That's what I think. I've used this once, and it's pretty good. The problem with these robotic systems is you click the buttons to choose the option that you want. And if the option you want isn't there, you're kind of snookered. But when I went there, they had exactly the options I wanted to talk about. You can then talk to a member of staff as well. Now, there's another thing that comes up, and I can't see it now, but sometimes it's around. It's another same color as that. And when you click it, you step through, and it tells you what each of these buttons do, the different things you're looking at. So the only other thing I want to show you here is the calculator. So you can go here and you can see what the results of all of the different engines is going to be. So if I start with the starter engine, projected returns is going to produce 0.0009 AVAX 0 every hour, that much per day, that much per week, and that much per month. So there's going to be 89.1 days for ROI, that's return on investment. So by the time I get my by the time I've earned 2 AVAX 0, now bear in mind I'm paying in AVAX, I'm getting paid in AVAX 0. So it's not really return on investment. It's just saying by the time I've got out in AVAX 0, as much as I've paid in AVAX, then it'll be 89 days. And similarly, by the time I've got that 9 AVAX out, so there's my max cap there, 9. By the time I get that 9 AVAX out, it's going to be 401 days. So that unlocks 1 level of referral commissions. Total contract yield, 9 AVAX. So total investment, 2. Okay. So basic engine now is 4. So this engine cost me 4 to activate. It's going to produce this much, but that's as well as the starter engine. So this unlocks 2 levels of referral commissions. My total investment here is 6. So that's the 2 for the starter engine and the 1 for the basic, so the 4 for the basic engine, which means that I'm going to receive 27 AVAX 0. Okay, so I'm going to get 9 from the starter engine and 27 from the basic engine. It's 36 AVAX 0 in total. Standard engine. Okay, so you can see where this is going. When I get up to the ultimate engine here, it's going to cost 7. So my total investment is 777 AVAX. Now, I only need, and I did once I've got up there, I only need an additional 310. So you can see this is a cumulative amount showing down here. And excuse me. And you can see I'm earning a lot more per hour, per day, per week. So daily you're earning 10 AVAX 0. So when they're worth $1, that's $10 a day. When they're worth $30, that's $300 a day just from the ultimate engine. So by the time I got there, 3,496, all the engines in total will be over 7,300 in total AVAX 0 being paid out. Okay, and this engine unlocks all 10 levels of referral commissions. So what does that say there? That says view network. I don't want to view the network. But you can get to your network of people by clicking that button there. So that's kind of it. That allows you to calculate how much it's going to cost you to get involved, what your returns are going to be. Because it's important, you know, you say, well, instead of saying, some people say, what do I have to put in to get to the top? And therefore, you know, they just go ahead and keep activating engines. Some people say, I've got $1,000. What's that going to get me? Well, I think it's going to get me about there. Now it's going to get me about there. So my total involvement there is 82. So that's $820 roughly at the moment. Okay. So if I go to master engine, that's 1570. So that's more than my 1,000. So I can't activate the master engine. The highest I can go is the expert engine. Do you see what I'm saying? How to use the calculator? Okay. Oh, you can activate more nodes. You can activate more engines. Sorry. That's exciting. I didn't know you could do that. So I'll have to find out about that. So that's kind of all I wanted to cover on Masternode. That's all I wanted to cover on the presentation and the video. So I'm going to come back to the room. I'm going to stop the video and then we'll do questions and answers. So to do that, I'm going to say, guys, thank you for being here with me. I do appreciate it. And thank you for those of you watching this by video. Feel free to share this video with people about NodeBooster or about Wealth Warriors. And we'll look forward to welcoming them again on a future Wealth Warriors presentation. I'm thinking actually of changing the structure of what we do with presentations and cover on a Wednesday, cover a different aspect of each of the different platforms. And then on a Sunday, just stick to the standard Wealth Warriors, all the in-depth stuff that we know and love about who we are, what we do, the philosophy behind what we do, and so on. So that may be coming up, but I'll let you know. But meanwhile, this video will be suitable to give out to all your friends, neighbors, relatives, work colleagues, and so on. So that's the end of this video. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.